Hello, and welcome to the final hours of the 24-hour Indy Radio podcast. And you're about to hear. Hello, and welcome to the final hours of the. Sorry about that. Okay, so these are the final hours of the 24-hour podcast. I can't believe that I'm awake still, and I'm not really sleepy. That you would think I would be, right? I'm not really sleepy, but you know what? I feel pretty decent. I feel like I'm gonna probably lay down when this is over, and I'm gonna probably yeah. I'm probably not gonna go to sleep right away. Um, well, who knows? I might just do that. So, but we'll find out. But I want to first start off by thanking all the parties that have been involved. I probably should do this for the last part, but I'm gonna do it now. Because I want to make sure that I thank everybody that helped participate and make this happen. Of course, I want to first start off by thanking both Shannon and Jen, my two lovely co-hosts, who worked tirelessly to help put this on, who stayed up all night, who put up with my craziness. Well, I'm not that crazy, right? You know, who I don't know, when I said that, we should do this, y'all didn't say I was crazy, or maybe you did behind my back, who knows. I want to thank you ladies so much. And then let me just thank everybody that participated individually. Dr. Vibe, Josh, Ramsey, Q Vergara, Stephanie, Steph, Audrey, Tracy, Leah, the life coach, Aaron, both Aarons, Aaron Riggs and Aaron Goins, who came through on his birthday. I want to thank both of them. I want to thank as well Madeline, who was in the beginning, Olaf, Grayson, who came through. I want to thank, let's see, I want to make sure I don't forget anybody. Oh, Ava Laura, who was awesome, who came through and helped me out. I want to thank, my little cheat sheet is not trying to open. I want to thank
all of our sponsors.
Yeah, hey, right, all the different sponsors. I want to thank Alan Newman for sure. Yes, he came through. Lauren Hazel. I want to thank Brooklyn as well. L.A. Wade. If you didn't see her show, her and Cashmere, that's another good. Thank her for coming through, and I just want to thank everybody that listened and watched and stuck with us the whole time. I just want, I really appreciate it, because to be honest with you, I don't know how people were going to, when I first said this last year, I don't know how people were going to react. I didn't know if people were going to be like, dude, you crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or maybe they don't see the vision, and maybe that, they think, who knows, right? But I said, you know what? My idea is I really want to do something for the community of all of us, because I respect everybody.
Yeah.
In a very serious way. Like it really, I'm not one of those people who don't want to see people succeed and don't want to see people grow and all of that. There's enough room and space for everybody.
That part.
And, so what I would hope that this is, and Ryan too, I'm so sorry, I forgot Ryan, is I just really wanted to be a part of something that hopefully can get more exposure for people. Oh, and Crystal Tucker as well. Who I don't know if y'all didn't see her show,
Crystal Tucker.
Crystal Tucker, where she talked about
like she could be for short Chris Tucker. Like
right, you know what? I never thought that. That is
wow.
that is Chris Tucker, right?
What she said?
Wow. I never thought about that. But she talked about being blind and starting to learn how to paint.
Yeah.
And just I mean, I knew her story, but listening to, I never heard it like that. And it's just so moving, and I mean, there was like a lot of great moments tonight. There was a lot of just really fun, great moments. And I'm sitting here thinking, at some point, I only really had one opportunity to kind of sleep, and that was very little. So
did you have an opportunity to use the bathroom?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we used the bathroom today.
Definitely. I definitely didn't use the bathroom a couple of times. So I wasn't gonna get through 24 hours without that.
I almost forgot to though earlier. I was like, do I want to go to the bathroom or do I want to go to bed?
Yeah, it's not like before when I was a young man where I could hold, I could hold. Now it's like you gotta go to the bathroom. Like you can't play around. So because I don't want to be a story like, remember when Kinte was doing that 24-hour show and he beat on himself? So it's just
astronauts do it all the time.
Depends would have worked too. No, that, oh my god. And I just want you guys to realize how much I do admire all of you, and it's just thank you guys so much. So for this last part of the show, there's not going to be no form or format or anything like that. We probably exhausted every topic known to man, but I really just the theme is obviously, it's almost always going to be what the new year, what we want to do for the new year. A lot of the shows today, we tackled that. And the Dr. Vibe show was great, talking about what's the one word for 2020. We started out really awesome with that. And I'm not going to keep going over things that we talked about before, but so many of you guys have so many awesome things that you guys are into and doing and trying to accomplish. And from the great news that Shannon shared with us, and so proud of you, Shannon. I like to see you happy. We all want to see you happy. We want to see you, with that Shannon smile on your face and all of that, So,
I have no idea what you're talking about. What I share with you?
Well, I'm not going to get into it, but I'm just saying, just that that your career is going a certain way, and
I hired my last full-time employee like last week. Yes, Lord.
That's awesome. And in this, brother, Andre, 2019, you had a lot of great things popping for you, bruh.
And he's still fine in 2020. Yes, Lord.
I mean,
yeah. 2020 for me is a year of closing gaps. So 2019 was completing goals, and I was able to go exceed the goals that I set out to meet. And now it's all about closing gaps, and hopefully by 2021, January, those gaps will be filled. That's what this year is all about. Filling gaps. Yeah. So, but I thank God, because God is good. 2019 wasn't the worst year for me. It wasn't the best year for some people. So I don't like really talking too much about my successes because sometimes it could seem insensitive. But we all go through things in different points in our life, and it's a matter of learning. And I want to see everybody win. And if I can help somebody succeed in some way, I'm there for them.
And this lady, Miss Jen,
Shannon, so
she
Yeah.
first of all, I don't know if I told this story. I might have, or parts of it. That my site basically got raped, and I mean, I don't even know any other way to put it, right?
yeah,
But your site?
And just it was hacked,
right.
and it was full of all kind of boo boo. And I remember going to Jen, and I was so frustrated because I had something like that happen, but this was like 9 times worse.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I went to Jen, and I was so freaking frustrated. I was just like, you know what? F the site. Oh, I don't even need a site. I was like, burn it. Like I was just so tired. And I was just like, I just didn't want to deal with it no more and all of this. And Jen was like, hold on, let me take a look. And then she's like, I can save it and do this, and I can help you with the security and blah, 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 blah. And I was just so done with it. And I know I probably gave her such a hard time during that process because I was just so like, it's just like, why are you effing with my site? I ain't nobody, like of all the people in the world, me, like, and I know it's not personal. It's not like somebody was sitting in Russia going, yeah, we're gonna F with Kinte and Indy Radio.
It was Russia?
I don't know if it was Russia.
So
I don't think Putin was like. I don't think Putin was like, yeah, we're gonna mess with the Democrats and Kinte.
this is a good time on the podcast to say, Russia, if you're listening, we have stuff on Indy Radio.
Yeah, right. And Stephanie, I sent you a link. Come on. But and Steph and Jen held my hand, listened to me pout, and she really worked her magic. And you might have took somebody girl in Russia. Hilarious. And and kudos to Jen because she wanted me to change to like a different server. And I just didn't want to do it because I'm like, another server? Like I was like, oh my, I was just like, man, F these servers, know. But she talked me into doing it. It was the best thing. And the site is beautiful if you haven't seen it. And thanks to Jen, and she worked her magic. And anybody who needs a website, Jen is not like one of those. Okay, do you have these people out there who say they make websites? All they do is manipulate templates. I ain't that bright and I can do that. But Jen is actually a real legit web developer who can code and has, she's like legit. She's probably like, someone the CIA probably want on the squad, So she's Jason Bourne's sister. So,
I actually work for the accountant.
The accountant. But so
this is why you don't actually see my face. You only see a picture because I can't actually let my true identity out there.
I believe it.
Listen, Kinte,
Uh-huh.
I and Shannon and everybody else. I got it. I said this before we started recording, but this needs to go into part of the record. So, there's this meta effect, right? That podcasts, especially podcasts that are sort of self-awareness, can have on people. And I think it speaks to the power of listening to other people and processing through what they are saying and how it might relate to your life. And, it's not always apparent how that might happen, but as you're listening, things filter through. And especially when people say things from a personal standpoint, you're more apt to pick them up and say, hey, this, has some bearing on my life. And I got to say that over the course of the past 24 hours, I've heard a lot of guests speak and heard a lot of coming together, meeting of the minds, discussions about 2020, discussions about, what needs to happen for everybody in their lives and stuff. And from a really strange meta context, the podcasts that I have been listening to, monitoring, making sure everything is going okay and nobody needs help and whatever, really have profoundly changed me over the past 24 hours. And I didn't walk into this thinking that that's what would happen, but I'm on the other side of this and I have a brand new vision for where I want to be in 2020. And that is thanks to every single guest that was here and all of the really good discourse that was happening. So thank you to everybody for participating in that. You don't know how you're going to change a person. And if you just put out your best, sometimes really amazing things happen. So I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Well, that's what we hope to do. That's what we hope to provide is that entertainment, of course, first. That's why, my wonderful wit is on display. That's like to draw you in. But then I hit you with the whammy bammy, that deep insight, that you can only get here from me. You know what I'm saying? So, and then another thing too is like, I love to terrorize Shannon. She takes it so well.
Say it again. Terrorize.
Like
terrorize, guys.
I would say she's the little sister I never had, but I got Miosha, and she's a little littler than you, so
so. She is in both age and stature.
Right. So she's the one I get to put in a headlock, and I put Shannon in the mental headlock. So
you'll never be able to put me in a headlock.
Yeah, I put you in the mental headlock.
Just agree, Shannon. It'll all go by much faster. It's okay.
It would not be our relationship if I agreed with that foolishness.
One day she gonna agree.
You was about to make me a sister wife earlier, Jen. You was like, yeah,
I heard that.
Yeah. Okay, so look, I'm in Los Angeles. The weather here is great.
Where I'm at.
You're in Florida, in Key West, where the 1%ers live. Now, Andre, you're in New York. So what's the weather like there now?
We had snow yesterday. Today it's some snow flurries. Right now it's 30 degrees.
What about you, Jen? What's the weather like where you at?
Oh, come on. That's really not fair. You're going to end up with people hating me. It is, all my doors and windows are open. It's slightly breezy. Right. It's a little bit chilly, and by that I mean it's probably about maybe 72. It's sunny and green outside. What else can I say? The sunset is particularly gorgeous right now.
So you're in the West Coast if you see a sunset.
I'm in Hawaii. It's almost 6 o'clock, and
why am I even on this?
When I think of Hawaii, I think of a pig on a big,
a luau.
Luau. Yeah, I always think that. I just have a feeling I go to Jen's house and that's what she's gonna offer is like
roast pig.
Right.
I mean, I can't show up in Hawaii.
You can get some catered.
You can take Kinte.
I don't eat pork, but you know what? When in Rome, no. When in Hawaii.
Listen, we'll get something catered, and we'll, instead of doing Kahlua pork, we'll do Kahlua sweet potatoes. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right, we can do that. My thing is this: when you live in Hawaii, what's a vacation like though?
Like, where do you go to vacation?
Right, it's
We
like
go to New York.
you go to New York.
No lie. We go to New York.
Not in the
All my
wintertime.
family
It's
is.
not in the win-
All my families have.
It's not-
No, you don't go to New York in the wintertime because there's a difference between I want to go to New York and go visit my family and I want to stay sane and not freeze to death.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so-
do you guys have any like seasons where the weather is like really bad? And if
Yeah.
you do, what does it look like?
It's rainy. It's like rainy every single day. But I mean, even when it's rainy every single day, there's always some
that it?
sunshine.
It's
Yeah, that's pretty much
every
it.
day? That's
I think
yeah.
the trade-off is when you live in Hawaii. First of all, everything is insanely expensive. I mean, everybody says, "Oh, it's insanely expensive everywhere." You know, it costs a lot of money to live in San Francisco, and I'm like, no. It is not consistently as expensive to live in San Francisco as it is in Hawaii because you have different kinds of market opportunities. And here we are so limited to what we can buy. Whatever's here is what we get.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
one piece.
And if
then
you get it from the states or states, they're going to hike up for shipping. And if you get it from another country, there's that duty and all that stupidness. So.
And that's the other thing. The other thing is everything takes forever to get here. So you kind of have Amazon is like everybody's best friend.
So you guys have 2-day shipping in Amazon too? In Hawaii
it's
too?
never 2-day shipping with Amazon. It's more like 4 or 5 days.
Oh, okay.
But it's still
I
free.
don't know if I can live with that. I'll deal with winters as long as I can have my 2-day shipping.
Yeah.
And we're never going to get drone service here. Just
I gotta
as an
get
FYI.
Yeah.
That's never happened.
I don't know if I want drone service. I think that's one of the most ridiculous shipping methods that Amazon can say they're coming out with. Like, I wouldn't trust it.
She says, "Oh, true. Hawaii has San Fran beat any day. Yeah, that's for sure."
It's pretty. And also, the other thing that happens in Hawaii, and I don't think people realize so much, is it's so rural here. And I don't mean rural like you're in downtown Kansas, but I mean like what our base population is like 144,000 people for the entire island. That's not a lot,
I remember you had a volcano scare, right? Was that last year?
Yeah. Well, that on the Big Island, right? It was a lot of lava stuff.
It was kind of crazy too, because like we were supposed to do a show or something, and she said, "Oh, I just want you to know, there's a volcano erupting, so there might be a problem." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "What?"
Well, wait. The problem, I'm on another island, so I'm not on an active volcano island, right? But
okay.
The problem was that our communications at the time were so bad because that's another thing about living in Hawaii. It's one of the reasons, again, other than my silly reason that I worked as an accountant, that you only see my picture because the communications end up being so garbled and it's always freezing. It's always it's like just the Caribbean. Bad. Yeah, it's just bad. Yeah.
But I mean, like a volcano though.
You trying to move to Hawaii, Andre?
I'm just saying, how much do they pay teachers? Like, I have a national certification. I can go anywhere in the States. I'm just saying, like, how much do teachers get paid in Hawaii? Cricket.
That's a question for Jen.
Jen, did we lose you, Jen?
She was just talking about how the communication's shoddy.
Yeah. All right, Jen, just let us know when you are back.
Yeah. I can do it no matter how much they pay. If I don't have like consistent Wi-Fi and internet and 2-day shipping, I can't live there. I don't care how warm and beautiful the climate is. I need 2-day shipping and good Wi-Fi, period.
Yeah. Press 1 in the chat if you've ever been to Hawaii, any of the islands there. Put it in the chat.
I would like to go.
Yeah. Don't threaten me with a good time. Hilarious.
Yeah. I'm not seeing the comments come up on
let me ask you this question, Shannon. What sounds better to you? Oh, Bobby's been there. What sounds better to you, to go on a trip like to Hawaii with your homegirls, or like a place like like one of those Caribbean trips or Hawaii or something with your homegirls when you're single, or is it better to go with your dude and experience with your man?
That's a trick question to me because I would want to do both. I mean, I would want to go with my girlfriends because there's something about girl time that I really do treat and honor and love. But there's also nothing like spending time with your man. So,
well, I mean, if you're single and you go with your homegirls, there's nothing tying you, so whatever happens, right? While you're away.
See, but I don't like that.
But does it count though? Because Hawaii is technically in the United States. That's part of the United States. That only works when you leave the actual country or the established. That's when that works. Like what happens in in Cuba stays in Cuba. Hawaii.
People go on girls trips down the street to Hilton Head, South Carolina. People
Miami.
ain't doing so. But that's just not my friendship culture, so we're not doing none of that.
I know, all right, fellas in the chat, is it better to go with your woman on one of those kind of exotic trips, or is it better to go as a single man with no attachments?
It's better to go when you can go. How about that?
Yeah. So if I'm single, it's better to go when I'm single.
Right. It's like bringing.
If I'm married. If I'm married, I'm not trying to. I want to go with my wife and have fun with my wife. But I'm not traveling anywhere unless you're my wife anyway. That's me though. Yeah.
Welcome back, Jen.
That part. Hey, Jen.
Yeah. So just in the same sort of, this is what happens. That's exactly what happens.
It was funny. Gray was trying to
perfect.
They paid teachers, and
It was Maui. It was the god, the demigod. The demigod Maui was messing with my connections and trying to just make sure that I knew he was boss. Yeah. That was it.
Hey, he was asking a question. Do the teachers make good money there?
Oh, there's actually a teacher shortage out here right now. So there's some pretty big incentives. But you know what? Here's the thing. Incentives like they have bonuses for the only thing is this is what I understand, and you can probably speak to this better than I can. What I understand is that there is a tenure problem here. There's a problem with sort of a lot of teachers in the system have aged out of the system. They've either retired or they're moving on to other things, or it's just too expensive to live here. And there's not enough teachers behind them to fill all the vacancies. So they rely on a lot of substitute teachers. They rely on a lot of people that actually don't have teaching credentials, but just have, basic degrees. And they are putting them in semi-permanent positions around the state because there's just not enough teachers. And so there's plenty of opportunity. That's not lacking. What is the problem is people come out here and think, well, I'm going to go live in Hawaii. It's going to be awesome. And they get out here and they realize really fast, one, you are on an island. You're not on Martha's Vineyard. You're not on an island that you can hop on a ferry and go home to. And you're like, oh yeah, I can go hang out. You are on an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And you really have to stop and take a breath about that because it's big. Mm-hmm. Secondly, you have to really be at home and comfortable with the idea that home and hearth is everything here. So there's no nightclubs. For as much as there's tourist mecca here, it's like huge draws for massive amounts of tourists. There isn't much to do from the local perspective. And so you get real comfortable hanging out with friends, doing your Netflix, doing the things that are sort of comfortable to your environment. Social groups out here are really big. But people don't take that stuff into consideration. It's amazing. I heard once that the average person that moves to Hawaii, if they come from the mainland, that 4 out of 8 of them, or 4 out of 7 of them, will leave in the first 18 months. Because they get out here and they think it's going to be one way, and it really isn't. You know, all I can say is if you're comfortable with yourself, if your home and your social circles that you can build up out here are enough for you, and you don't need the constant distraction of the quote unquote city, then this might be the place for you. But if your idea is not Saturday at the beach with some friends and, you know, maybe some fishing poles and some whatever, this might not be the place for you. It sounds idyllic, but honestly, it's a tough mindset to get into.
Yeah.
Well, I just got a message from the Hawaii Chamber of Commerce. They want to hire you to drum up interest in on there. Wow.
Listen, we need good people on Maui. We really do. Maui is one of those islands that's like, I think I just said this. There's 144,000 people that live on this entire island. Like, that's so tiny. I grew up in a town that was bigger than that. And
my block is bigger than that.
Yeah, see, when you think about it, it's like it's such a tiny fraction of people. But at any one time, the population of this island can be close to 1 million because of the tourists and the people that have timeshares and things like that. But they don't live here. So, I mean, it feels busy sometimes, even though it's not busy like with the things that local people are doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No, it makes perfect sense.
So if you want to come out and visit. Come hang out, you know, you can I'll give you a grand tour, and you can decide for yourself whether this feels like a comfortable place, but I would not suggest that you move to Hawaii sight unseen. It's just not. I could move to New York sight unseen because there's so much to kind of figure out about. There's so much written about New York. There's so much. You could almost do it. You can't do it here.
Yeah.
Wow, man. Well, that crushed my dreams, hopes, and aspirations.
So when you moving, Dre?
To Hawaii? Yeah, it may not happen ever.
Right.
Ever.
Thanks again. Thanks, Jen.
Yeah, I'm sorry to crush everybody's
She's
dreams.
a body pooper.
No.
Sorry.
Now I barely want to go for vacation. Like,
I know, right? It's like
I'm not invested in that place. Like, what kind of?
I'm not invested in that place. No, that's the thing. The thing is, you're not invested here, so you come for vacation. You have a great time. You soak up a good tan. You get out there on the water. You see some whales. You snorkel with the fish, and you do all the awesome stuff, and then you leave. And then you go back to what you got to do, and you power through the rest of your life. We are in this place. We are the service industry, like a lot of islands. We are so service industry driven that we know how to take good care of guests. Every single person on this island is basically Lumiere.
Yeah.
wow.
You know who Lumiere is from?
Yeah, from Beauty and the Beast.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite. I might have to watch that tonight or fall asleep to it now that you just brought it up.
When you hop off the plane, we all sing "Be Our Guest." So it's really fun.
Yeah, better. That's maybe I'll visit just for that.
And then tell us all about it on your vlog.
The vlogs, yeah. I released a video today.
Okay, if you know Jen, Hawaii's not really where she wants to be.
Where you want to be at, Jen?
Oh, I don't know. Apparently, we're asking Kinte.
I mean,
she might be where everybody knows her name.
In New Zealand. And what they call that place? Hobbiton?
Yeah, dude, I'm so down for that.
Are they real?
Hobbiton?
I think that's what they call it, right? Hobbiton. That's where the hobbits.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, that's where they filmed
the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it true that they all like purchased a piece of land out there?
They did. It's still there.
That's dope.
That is dope.
Okay, so Jen, would you date a hobbit?
I mean, listen, the perks could be pretty good, you know.
The
food.
Never mind. I was about to say something funny.
They do got big ass feet.
You do got big, yeah. You do got big feet. I was gonna say that, but you said it. You beat me to it. Thank you.
See, I was thinking of the food. Wow.
Oh, wow.
They eat rabbits.
What?
They eat rabbits.
Yeah, they eat rabbits.
Only when they're questing to bring back the ring. I mean, how often can that possibly happen?
They'll go to the ends of the earth just to get jewelry, so that might be good.
I mean, there's some good stuff happening there.
They get psycho over jewelry. They get crazy over rings. And
yeah, what's that guy's name? Are you gonna shoot me? The decrepit guy. The decrepit guy.
Gollum,
yeah.
Oh, Gollum. Yeah.
You know, it's so funny. I said that once, and like a real diehard Lord of the Ring fan was like, "Really? Like, sorry, jeez." Think of Gollum's name. It's not like I've got on the brain. Jeez. My precious.
The Lord of the Rings is so important to me, a little bit like, you know, Gollum and his ring. That was the one time that I went to the Oscars. I went to the Oscars. Wow. Of course, I didn't know they were going to win, but I went to this huge party afterwards at I think it was at an American Legion Hall in LA, and it was the One Ring party, and it was packed. I mean, there were so many people, and you know, one of the podcasters was talking. Maybe it was Grayson. They were talking about cosplay. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't know cosplay until you've known somebody who is so into Lord of the Rings that they are willing to dress up in costume to go to an Academy Award ceremony. I mean, it was just absolutely crazy. It was awesome.
Okay, so look, I grew up watching movies. So many movies were like my life growing up, right? A big movie fan. Now, some movies that you saw when you was young, they hold up, right? As an adult, right?
Yeah.
But then there's those movies that you hadn't seen since you was like a kid or a teenager, and you're excited to see it again because it's been like years, and then you come on and you like, what kind of drugs was that?
Did I like this? I like this movie. I actually thought this was good.
Oh God.
There's a whole host of those movies. I'm gonna say something blasphemous. I'm gonna say something blasphemous. Although I love him to death as a character.
Yeah, I feel it coming.
But I rewatched him as an adult. Them Godzilla movies. Oh, they're unwatchable. Yeah. Those Japanese Godzilla movies are unwatchable. They are the most dim-witted things.
And I remember, I'm so disappointed in you.
I love Godzilla in theory.
Yeah, but not in practice.
Yeah, it's like when you watch those movies, because I remember you want to hear something funny? So when that one came out with Diddy on the soundtrack in 2000 with the
with Matthew Broderick.
I remember we went to go see it and it was trash, right? So the sets had came out of the old ones. So I remember telling my nephews, you know what? That movie was trash. I'm gonna show you the good stuff. And I popped up. My nephew looked at me like, "This the good
Uncle?" Like, really? Like, it was.
I was like, "Wait a minute."
But I mean, you know, oh man. So we have done Cinema du Fromage for a couple of seasons, and a lot of the stuff that we do on Cinema du Fromage is exactly like that. It's like, you know, movies that you thought were awesome. Yeah, maybe they're not so awesome. Maybe they're really super cheesy. And isn't that the point of Godzilla movies? Aren't they supposed to be that way? I mean, nobody was making Godzilla movies going, "Oh yeah, this is going to be an award winner."
It sort of looked like the style was like anime-ish, like really corny, really slapstick, and it's like like the Power Rangers that whole the when they actually turned into Power Rangers, like that whole corny
and the
look.
And the kaiju actually came from Japan. I mean, like it was supposed to be that way. It was not supposed to be serious cinema. I love how we try to take the guys
with the duck
and turn them into like, oh yeah, this is super serious. Like, okay, everybody, we have to get our really super serious faces on because this stuff that we are going to make better. It's like, why are you trying to make B movies into this is ridiculous. They're B movies.
No, I get it. I get it, right? I get it. I wasn't expecting Gone with the Wind, but it was just so unwatchable. Like I couldn't get into it because it was just like, and then you fast forward to the fight scenes because you said, well, at least we'll get to the fight scenes, and they was whack. And Godzilla's breakdancing and stuff. I'm like, what the hell is going on in this movie? Like, what kind of crack was these guys on when they made this? There's this one Godzilla movie. I can't remember it, but it's like this robot character named Jaguar, and it's like they team up to take on. I can't remember the name of that movie. That movie is the most cornball movie you'll ever see.
No, it's not. The worst Godzilla movie is the Godzilla movie with Godzilla's son.
Well, yeah.
That is absolutely the worst of them all. I did a live tweet stream while I watched that, and
we are dating ourselves.
It's hilarious,
by the way.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. Dating ourselves? Speak for yourselves. That's why I'm being quiet.
Yeah, that's why. Like Shannon didn't say a word. She hasn't said anything about these movies.
Okay, so Shannon is about 4 years off of me. So
how old are you again?
About 4 years off of me.
No. How old are you again?
43.
No, try 6.
Are you that? Is it that big of a difference?
Yes, you the same age as my sister.
Oh, okay. Well, you 6.
All right, because you 76.
Yeah, 76.
Yeah.
So what happens is those 6 years are huge because
they are huge.
Like I was saying earlier, like 4 years is the difference between growing up listening to Tupac and listening to Nelly.
You are so right, because I grew up listening to Tupac and my little sister listened to Nelly.
Right. That's so people don't realize they say, oh, it's only 4 years, but that changes the dynamic of who you is by what you was into. Yeah. And so I like to believe that my era was a great era for music and movies and TV and all of that kind of stuff. I feel like I was in the golden era of cinema and all that jazz. That's what I feel. I'm
not normal anyway, so the music I listen to now.
Also, the Godzilla movies were made in the 1950s and the 1960s, so yeah. I don't think you actually weren't in.
No. Wait, let's get this clear. I didn't watch them when they came out. God dang it.
All right, but you were still at the age where that was the standard for cinema.
It
wasn't even like it wasn't that much of a difference when it came to how do you cinematography? It's not cinematography. What's it called?
You mean you? Well, okay, wait.
How they created giants and things like that.
Oh, you're
right, because it wasn't claymation. It wasn't the Harryhausen. It wasn't
Harryhausen.
It was a guy dressed up as a giant.
And it was like that, for a very long time. It was like that for a long time. Like even in Star Wars, it was how
Traveling Matt was Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Traveling Matt was Star Wars. They didn't even have awesome CGI at that point.
No, at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like movies that holds up or held up, like can't talk. Please forgive me. I've been up for 24 hours, so whatever I say,
just crazy.
I'm just sitting here like we should have made the last hour a nap show.
Yeah, where they just play nap music.
Yeah. Okay, so movies that like holds up. Fuck.
Poltergeist.
What is it? Hold up. Yeah.
That have.
Hold up. You ever write
just the time?
Do you ever write something down correctly but it looks wrong?
Yeah.
You're like, wait, is that right? It is right.
Or you can just say movies that have stood the test of time.
That stood the test of time.
Thanks, Shannon.
Okay, movies that stood the test of time. Like The Never Ending Story, still good.
Yes. My kids watched that a little while ago, and they was like, "Wow, this is dope." So I know.
Very good movie. Princess Bride, it's a good movie.
Yeah,
holds up.
Home Alone.
Home Alone holds up.
The Last Dragon.
The Last Dragon.
I agree with that.
Yeah, your young kids now would like The Last Dragon, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
But you know what's crazy? Because we talk about this on Cinema de Fromage. What's up, Josh? Is when you watch movies like from a certain period of time, there's a lot of racism.
What's that? What's moving behind you, Shannon?
Oh,
is the window open?
There's a ghost.
Oh, I'm like, is somebody trying to come in her window?
No, my fan is blowing in his kitchen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now this ain't gonna be like Scream. Like I'm gonna shout, there's somebody behind you. Like turn around.
That'd be a good way to end the 24-hour.
I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm
doing the podcast version of Unfriended.
Now, like, there's a lot of like racism in movies and like sexism, but the one thing I always point out is they had this thing I call the hysterical woman slap, where a woman like them older movies, like especially them detective movies, where a woman is like being hysterical, and then the lead, he's like, and then she's like, oh, almost like, oh, thank you.
Get a hold of yourself, woman.
It's funny. It's funny because
or they shake the mess out of her.
Right.
Get a hold.
Did Ricardo smack Lucy in I Love Lucy?
I think he did, yeah. Like Chinatown, there's a scene like near the end of the movie where he slapped.
Oh yeah, Annie got slapped.
Yeah, and it's funny because you watch it and you're like, you wince now because you're thinking with today's lens. So you're like, damn, that was cold. Like he just slapped the shit out of it. Like, that was like comic though. It was just like when the woman got hysterical. And it's like, it seemed like these writers just for no reason just stuck those scenes in. Just like maybe they was thinking about their wife. So they was like, I'm gonna put this in there. I'm living vicariously through Jack Nicholson.
But you know what? You know what? This is actually exactly why we should never go back and try to erase this stuff, because it's a snapshot in history. It shows us where we've been and how far we still have to go. Like every time you see a movie that makes you wince, it makes you realize that, oh, hey, you know what? That stuff actually really existed, and it didn't just exist like, in your head. It existed so much that a writer thought to put that down in a script. That's like serious intent.
And it's funny. Like I had on New Year's, I had an Eddie Murphy marathon. All right, Lauren's about to join us. I had a Eddie Murphy marathon on New Year's. I watched 48 Hours, another 48 Hours, Beverly Hills Cop 2. I didn't watch 3. And I watched Trading Places. And then
Jamie Lee Curtis in that movie.
Oh yeah, they're playing the hoe, yeah. But okay, so I hadn't seen these movies in a while, right? Because I wanted to watch his early movies, right? For some reason, I just wanted to watch them, right? And so 48 Hours, I'm watching the movie, and I forgot, like, I'm like, I wanted to hit Nick Nolte in his like, oh my God. I was like, that scene where he's all like, all right, he says the N-word, and then he roughs him up, and I'm like, I'm sitting there watching this like, okay, they had to throw that in there, you had to get, I'm sitting there watching this, but and then in Trading Places too, like they were just so, easily just, saying whatever.
But Trading Places was Eddie Murphy's movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was his movie. So everything that happened in that movie was Eddie Murphy's.
That's a great movie.
Eddie Murphy sign off on it.
Oh no. Yeah, it was a great movie. Those are great movies. All of those movies. I forgot how intense 48 Hours was. Like it's funny, that movie wasn't a comedy.
What
movie?
No, 48 Hours.
No.
It was Beverly Hills Cop wasn't a comedy either. It only became a comedy because Eddie Murphy was cast in lead, and it just made it funny. But those movies are kind of like those are action movies, really. Dramatic movies. But he's just so funny.
Yeah, but he set the stage for movies that come out like Rush Hour.
Yeah.
And what was that movie with Chris Tucker? All Chris Tucker's movies are pretty much similar.
Yeah.
So to casting the comedic role opposite a main character became popular because of movies that Eddie Murphy's done.
Now, Lauren.
Yep.
Don't get mad.
Why?
You are, but you know what? No, you shouldn't get mad because you set yourself up as this representative. You are
y'all out here get mad. I'm like, why?
Y'all
I'm being set up for.
You are the representative of Black nerds, female nerds. So
hold on,
you got to speak.
This shit. You got to community go down the wrong way.
You got to speak. Look, Jan gladly is taking. She's answering all the white female nerd questions. So now we're asking the black female nerd questions. So
I'm chewing. She's just be quiet. I'm chewing.
There is nothing like being on Indy Radio, and I have said this I don't know how many times, but I'm super serious. I definitely feel like the token white chick, and I'm totally here for it. Look, you know what? I'm way here for it. I wouldn't be here if I didn't think it was cool. But damn, sometimes it's like, okay, I just gotta take a step back because I don't know what
is the white girl. People think she's funny. A real estate investor who makes a lot of money.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So makes
all
a lot.
Right.
But anyway, speaking on behalf of the Black female nerd posse, what was some of the quintessential nerd stuff that you grew up with? Like, what did you watch? Like, obviously Star Wars, but what was popping in the nerd? Because this nerd stuff is new to me. So, what era did she grow up in?
One thing about this nerd thing is that there are levels to it, and
it's like a Super Mario game.
Some of the levels.
Super Mario was not nerdy. That was cool.
I know gangsters that played Mario. Thank you.
Sorry,
let's just clear the air on that one.
I know Crips.
I'm just I'll play a whole bunch of nerds from God knows when. They got the ones who actually got stuffed in lockers and all that bullshit. We'll turn around like no. Very vocal about that kind of crap, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. It's like because nerd to me also means academics, and there's a whole lot of nerds that are into just the cartoon shit, and they don't know nothing about no academics. Like they're not the ones who are like, oh, I really like this thing in science, and that like to me like National Geographic was my jam. I love that.
Oh, okay. Me too, though. See,
I think with like National Geographic, Steve Irwin when he was on, like there's just stuff that that I really really into, but you got some people who claim nerddom, and the only thing they can tell you is that they really like One Piece in Naruto.
Right.
And they know every little possible supposed thing about that. And there's always that. And that's like, okay, whatever you know.
Family school. Students like that.
I've watched
students that can tell you every Pokemon, and they can't seem to read past the 2 grade levels below. And I think that goes to show what they're interested in. Which makes it fun to teach because I take things that they're interested in. If they're into Naruto, we're going to read books on Naruto to increase their reading levels. But I'm sorry, go ahead, Kinte.
Is that a thing still? The Pokemon Go thing? Is that still a thing?
Absolutely.
It's a distraction. We had to ban Pokemon cards in our school because it was a distraction. It's a distraction, major distraction.
Detective Pikachu, when it came out, like usurped a bunch of box office records.
Yeah.
That's how popular.
But did you see it?
Crazy.
I was like, this
really
movie
dumb.
People like this?
It really did.
I didn't see it. I thought it was supposed to be a comedy. I was like, that's a DVD movie for me.
Although, if you're under, I swear, if you're under like 10, you love that movie. I know so many
I don't
kids
know.
under 10
I
that
know.
were just like enthralled.
You know what messed me up about that movie? Listening to him. Because like I wasn't a Pokemon fan at all. But why does he sound like a middle-aged smoking male adult?
Because it's Ryan Reynolds.
No, he's supposed to have that cute little voice.
Oh, I think that's
the
the
only
goal.
words he says is Pikachu. That's it. Like, why does he sound like? It freaked me out. I didn't like it. No.
I'm sure that there's like really geeky explanations for that, but whatever they are, those rabbit holes and subreddit threads, I don't read. So
Maybe.
You know, okay, I'm not a parent, but I do have an aversion to movies that I just can't sit through and give it any time, space, or energy. And I always hear, well, if you have kids, you're gonna watch Frozen and you're gonna watch Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and all of that. And I'm like, do I have to? Like, I don't like those kind of movies. I don't sit up and watch it. I like
any.
What would happen? I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. You're gonna be like, no, I don't want to watch it, and your child's gonna say, please, 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 and you're gonna say, all right, whatever, I'll just fall asleep. And then you start watching it, and you're like, yo, this thing is really cool. Like, I really like this. What is Elsa? Elsa can do that? Yo, like she just built a castle like with her bare hands using ice. What? Like that's how it be.
Also, if I could just speak to the fact that listen, Disney has kind of a hyper hypnotic effect, and I don't think that that's by accident. That's years and years and years of Disney perfecting the story to pull you in as quickly as possible, and their animation style is slick and it is colorful in a lot of places, and the movements are meant for your eyes to track. Disney has this down to a science. But the other thing is, and because you know what, I was not a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan when Mighty Morphin Power Rangers came out, and my kid was so into the Power Rangers that by the time that he was in, sort of his heyday, I knew every single Power Ranger. I knew every single I knew every single weapon they had. I knew their weaknesses. I knew everything. And it's not because I was super interested in it. It was because I love my kid and I want to be interested in what he was interested in, because that's how you express love to people you care about. Get interested in their stuff.
See, Maya.
That was the Yellow Ranger. My mother actually, this was many, many years ago. So Power Rangers that we had was because real dirty shit. Power Rangers was a show out there and it became a show here, right? So the original cast, the original 5 Rangers, I think just before Tommy became that evil good Ranger thing, I think just before that, that's maybe October, so that Halloween coming up or the Halloween after, you're looking for Power Ranger costumes, and there weren't any Power Ranger costumes necessarily available, and I like the Yellow Ranger. Yellow was my favorite color, so my mother would search all everywhere. There was no Power Ranger costumes because it wasn't licensed out, so no one made any costumes because there was no license granted to do that. So she went and we went to all these stores, these like Korean stores and stuff like that, and Japanese stores that had the educational stuff, because they also had like Power Rangers actually had an educational section. So this is how you count Ranger 1 and 2 and crap like that. So
this is the beginning, because when they first came to America, all right, they were extremely racist in the selection and casting.
Oh yeah, I know
the Rangers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I know the whole history behind that. So I'm a big fan of that original and what it was. But she went and found every single image of the Yellow Ranger she could find, and she made an entire costume. And she made it from scratch by hand. Got all the materials, got this type of yellow, matched it all up. So by the time Halloween came out, I had a Yellow Ranger costume. I was the only one out there with any type of Power Ranger costume, let alone the Yellow Ranger costume. And we went to the parade. I got pictures and it was in newspapers and all kinds of stuff, because she actually made this shit from scratch and it looked really damn good, in comparison. So for me, that always has a special, place, for me, for that kind of stuff, the stuff you do with your kid, because she worked full time. She didn't really have much time to travel and do shit. When
See,
you
that's
like
love.
look back,
I mean, that's pure
love
love.
you do sometimes. It's like if you have children here, you understand.
Let me ask this question. I don't have kids, of course. So Jen and Andre, you can answer this question for me. Okay, Frozen, whatever. I guess we gotta watch Frozen.
Just let it go.
When can I show my kids movies like Scarface and without being a shitty parent?
Okay, wait. I have an awesome story to tell about this. I just have a perfect story for this. So I have 3 kids, right? And they are 5 years apart, basically. So it's a huge gap. And entertainment for a 15-year-old is not the same as entertainment for a 5-year-old. And they
don't want you to believe that.
Well, the older 2 were watching Kill Bill, okay? And it was a big thing because I didn't really want him to watch it. And I was like, okay, well, all right, maybe you're ready. And the youngest walked in and was so traumatized by Kill Bill that to this day, she never lets me live it down. She says that the reason that she's so afraid of this situation and that situation, I mean, she's laughing and stuff, but is because I let her watch Kill Bill. And see, but it really did actually affect her. She really remembered that as being, oh my God, I have to close my eyes. Really bad things are happening. So you can't start them too young because you really will traumatize your kid.
But you know
what's funny though? Okay, I can't say.
No, when I was a kid, I saw Nightmare on Elm Street. I saw all those movies. Yeah, I was young as hell. I was way too young. But look at me, I'm normal. I watched comedy specials that I shouldn't have been watching, and all that jazz. So I'm not saying it's a good thing. So don't take my kids I don't have yet. But I'm just saying though, like, that's the fun part is when you start showing them the real cinema, like real movies, like the movies you really love. Forget Frozen and all that.
There's cognitive levels, and also childhood development, or early childhood development especially, has come a really long way in sort of recognizing that cognitive development in certain stages. The reason you don't show kids a lot of hyper-violent stuff in their very early age is not because the kids who grew up before them didn't turn out okay. It's because we recognize that there's a better way to handle this, and this leads to
my parents sit me down. Let me make it clear: my parents didn't sit me down and show me Halloween and and Nightmare on Elm Street and all that. They didn't know I was probably watching that.
Yeah, see.
But I mean, I'm fine.
There's
so arachnophobia, and I've always had an issue with spiders.
That movie was funny though. That movie, John Goodman made that movie funny.
I can't watch that.
I laughed in that movie.
I can't watch it.
But you know what movie did for me?
I used to have conversations with a spider, fearing that it would come down to bite me. So, because I didn't know scenes where they just came all the way down.
What's up, buddy?
You know how in the 80s you had all these like horror flicks that had to do with camping, like camps, sleepaway camps. Yeah. Like to this day, like I've never slept away at a sleepaway camp ever for that reason. Right, I had opportunities to go to sleepaway camp, and I would not go. What's going on, Boogie? And to this day, right, I probably wouldn't send my kids away to sleepaway camp because of it. I think I did it one time because it was a basketball camp, but like there was so many movies that I watched as a kid that I wasn't supposed to watch. I was supposed to be sleeping, but my god sister, who's older, was watching it, and I was like had the covers over my head, peeking through, messed me up. I mean, I also saw the Female Anatomy way before I should have, because all those movies there was nudity and stuff. But
and I mean, if we're talking about kids, right?
Grew up watching hack slash movies. Yeah, we good.
Don't you think that there is like, and because there's no magic age to say this is when your kids should watch, whatever. But I mean, we have a basic reading system in this country. It's not perfect, but at least it gives us some guideline and says, hey, maybe if you are a young adult, this is cool for you. And maybe if you're 9, you shouldn't be watching people getting hacked to bits, because maybe you just don't need that in front of a 9-year-old's brain. That's
okay.
all.
My 13-year-old nephew, well, he was 12.
12.
I let him see Annabelle.
You let him see what?
Annabelle.
That is child abuse, bro. Like, what are you doing to this poor kid?
It's funny because he lives in Chicago, right? So he came and he saw Annabelle.
That's why they like coming to you, because they already know they're gonna see all the things they ain't supposed to see.
And here's the funny thing is, he was like frightened of Annabelle, and his mother, my sister, when he got back, was like, "Did you let him watch some doll movie?" And she was like, "I'm gonna get you."
Yeah, that's movie they thought of.
A year later, he's totally fine. He's so
yeah.
Well, these scarred they are. It's like I have my my nephew, right? So there's certain things that we'll see together, and it's kind of fine because we go to movies with them and everything else. But like one, and my thing is like I like Pixar things and stuff. I haven't seen Frozen, what the fuck they did with that, but like How to Train Dragon, beautiful series, very well done, very fun. Like if you want to be an adult and like have fun and watch it, it's one of those series. Like we all saw that, we all saw those together. Let's see, what was the movie? Oh, you're gonna love this later, but a movie I would not let him see was Deadpool when it came out, because we went to the movie to go see it, and they were like, me and my mother went to go see it first. We were like, okay, how it was going to, how it was going to go. Yeah. We saw it, we were like, well, hell, we almost brought my nephew. If it wasn't for the fact that he had, went away, he would have been in the movie theater, because we didn't like. And then we saw it, was like, oh shit. a little.
But it was like, brilliant though. That movie was brilliant.
Yeah, well, there were like people in the theater who like had a couple of kids in there, and they're like, because you're like, there's some rated R movies that it's not really that bad. It's like, okay, it's Blade type level, remember? So that's what they're figuring. They're figuring, okay, this is gonna be like a Blade type level thing, so that's okay because they're already exposed to that. And then you start seeing, you're like, ooh. Like I go like, oh.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna name some movies, and I'm gonna let y'all decide if it's wrong to let a 12-year-old see.
Okay. Let everybody 1 for yes, 2 for no in the comments.
Okay, so we'll start off with Trading Places.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
Or
you fast forward. Wait, is she naked in that?
Yeah.
Appropriate 12-year-old.
Twice in the movie.
We'll block that scene out.
Then
got the tits. No,
it's not just her. In the scene when he first got to the house, he had that party. There was like 2 other women bare-breasted as well.
We'll get rid of all the tits. All the tits.
All right. It's funny. Like a 12-year-old. The TV edition, yeah.
The TV edition?
Yeah, the TV edition's cool.
TV edition, yeah, they take that stuff out.
Okay. Let's see. Weekend at Bernie's.
No.
That's my movie.
That's a great movie.
Well, what was wrong with it? It's been years since I've seen that. What was wrong with Weekend at Bernie's?
That's a great movie.
I don't need my 12-year-old coming up with ways to have dead bodies. No. No.
So if I remember correctly, the second one that they came out with was more child friendly.
Was it? Oh wow! I remember it was whack. Oh, so no Weekend at Bernie's. I think Weekend at Bernie's is benign.
Yeah,
it's not. It's not bad. Yeah. What about? Well, no, not the first. Not Police Academy. No, that's pretty ratchet.
No, the first Police Academy was.
Yeah, that's pretty ratchet. But we're gonna skip that one. All right. What about the Gremlins?
Oh.
I think it's okay.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, that's kind of a kid's movie to me. The Gremlins.
My nephew was
I don't think it's a kids movie, but at 12, I think you're okay.
Yeah, well, my nephew's 12 now, so I think he can.
Yeah,
we can do Gremlins. Because what was it that he had? The first movie that we said that he came back kind of traumatized from was actually Rogue One.
Really, Rogue One? Because everybody died.
Because he's used to movies that even in the end there's kind of a positive-ish resolution, and you got the main character. In this one, you get attached and everybody dies. And it was like a big thing in Star Wars because this is the first time really that you see something like this in a Star Wars movie. And I was like, oh shit. Because even I said, I was like, oh shit, they did kill everybody off. And then I'm like, I don't know how he's going to respond. Like they went to take him, and he came back, and I remember him opening the door. I come to see him. Everybody died. Oh. Like that. It was like, oh. I was like, oh. But the second time I saw him kind of get like that was watching Avengers Endgame, when everybody it came out like that. But the first real experience was Rogue One. The droid. Everybody, it was devastating. I was like, oh no.
My heart hurts for him. That's sad.
The reality of life. That's how folks felt when Bambi Mama died.
Yeah. And Mufasa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the Disney movies back in the day had a lot of death in it. It started with tragedy.
What's up, Norma? And
I mean, it's a trope that all the Disney princesses are basically orphans.
Yeah,
or one of their dads.
With single dads. Yeah.
Yep.
Every mother dies or something like that.
Okay, so we said Weekend Bernie's and Trading Places.
These are old movies. I don't even know if my kids would have sat through them. They would be like, "Why are you showing me these really ancient movies?"
Well, they from. I don't know. The cool thing is showing kids stuff you grew up on. Mm-hmm. So that's really cool. I love my nephews. Right, I love showing them movies from and their father do it too. So I try to fill in with their father hadn't done yet. So they've seen everything. I'd be like, "Oh, you haven't seen Usual Suspects? Well, you sit down." Actually, Usual Suspects. Would you? I don't think there's nothing really in that. Not really.
I heard it and never seen it. What the hell? What's the?
That might go over the head of a 12-year-old, though. I don't even think.
Not my 12-year-old. My 12-year-old's gonna get it.
Yeah. Okay.
My 12-year-old's gonna get it. They're gonna be like, "This is a very interesting film, Father." Well, he's gonna have his glass of wine. That was a very interesting film, Father.
Some of the best times that I've had over the past 2 years have been with my son watching our Cinema du Fromage movies because they are sort of all older choices. And they're all things that he hasn't seen before, and getting to re-see some of these movies, it's actually been really cool. So I mean, there is something to it, but I don't think your average 12-year-old is gonna. I just don't think they're gonna sit through it.
Hey, my kid's gonna be heady. They're gonna understand cinema. They're not gonna watch films or movies. They're gonna watch cinema.
No TCM.
Cinema.
I raised my kids on TCM.
Cinema. Okay, they're not gonna watch the BS.
Educate me on, because I'm like.
So, all right, Andre, what was was there a rated R movie you couldn't wait to show your sons when they got the right age?
Was there other than The Last Dragon? I think that was the only one.
Last Dragon. That's a good one. You could show a 12-year-old The Last Dragon.
Yeah, you could. Yep.
I don't know anything about the Last Dragon. Yeah, isn't it the 25th or 45th anniversary or some shit like that of it? Or 25th anniversary?
Yeah.
That movie holds up.
30 year. It was a 30-year anniversary.
Shannon would
no, it will be 30 because it came out in 1984.
Yeah, we reviewed that. We were going to review that on the show today, but I couldn't get what's his face, so we never got around to setting that up because we had to rewatch it and stuff. We were going to review it, but we'll do it on another thing.
Yo, let me know because I want to.
Oh, cool! All right, that's what's up.
Time favorites.
Okay, so before
that and Lean on Me.
Lean on Me, yeah.
I wanted them to see Lean on Me.
Yes, Morgan
That's a good
Freeman,
one.
man.
That is a good one.
You know, Morgan
That is a
Freeman.
good movie.
You know, Morgan Freeman has an interesting job in Hollywood as the old black guy. You know, he's like the old black guy. It's like when they're doing something and it's like, we need an old black guy, call Morgan Freeman. So like, I wonder who's going to take his place when he's like no longer, you know, able to do it. Like, remember it was James Earl Jones.
Eventually, Will Smith will take that role.
Will Smith. He got, I think,
Yeah, probably.
The big
black
voice.
That'd be so weird.
He does have the
Nothing says Morgan Freeman is awesome in
Denzel.
that power role as Bruce Almighty, where he actually plays God.
Right.
That is my favorite, and I don't mean like there's not a million Morgan Freeman roles that are better than that, but that is my favorite role to see Morgan Freeman just own, because I totally believe he is God in that one.
He's coming out with he has a documentary on Netflix or Amazon Prime that's about discovering God.
Yeah. Oh, that was really good too. I saw that. It was on Discovery Channel or History Channel, one of them, Discovery or History, and it was actually really good.
It's like the modern day George Burns.
Yeah, it was really good.
Just listening to the talk is amazing.
What about TV shows that you guys came up on
for kids?
Cosby.
Yeah,
my show.
Olaf said I'm going to replace Morgan Freeman. Hilarious. Now, some of the shows. See, my thing is, I love shows with great theme songs. And you know, one thing, they didn't have DVRs right back in the day, so if you didn't catch the pilot, you wouldn't know what the show's about unless it was in the theme song. And probably the best theme song that, like, I didn't even see the pilot of Gilligan's Island. Gilligan's Island. Like, I never seen the pilot till way later. And then, but you knew what happened in the pilot because the damn theme song is the pilot.
Right.
You know, it tells you the whole story, right?
Yeah.
And I remember one day I was about to leave the house. And the pilot for Gilligan's Island was coming on. And I had never seen it. And I literally stopped to watch it because I was like, because I'd never seen it before. And I actually checked that out. But Gilligan's Island had a great theme song. I had a debate. The Jeffersons, but you know who has the coolest instrumental theme song?
Who's that?
Sanford.
Knight Rider? Okay.
No, I gotta go with the Monsters.
Quincy Jones? Are you kidding me?
Before
It's so iconic.
And then the crazy thing is, like, if you like just hear the whole version, I mean, it's like he got down making that, you know.
Yeah, but what's the name? It's similar to what's that show with Roger? What's Happening?
Oh, What's Happening?
Yeah.
Taxi, yeah. And then so the Partridge Family, hilarious. Banana Splits.
Oh God, Banana Splits.
Now one of my favorite ones is the Leaving Single theme song.
Yeah.
You know, what's Single in the 90s kind of the world. I'm glad I got keep your head up.
That's right.
Well, you know, my favorite part of it though is the end. That's my favorite part. Every time I'm turning the channel and it's the theme song is on, I gotta wait for that part, and then I'll just turn the channel to something else afterwards. Baywatch. I never watched Baywatch.
I've never seen one episode.
I never seen Baywatch. I watch everything, man. I watch
very dramatic drum, piano stuff going on now.
Fresh Prince was that was a great show. It's like that holds up very well too. You can watch those even today. Probably the show that holds up the best or one of the best is Golden Girls. That show is
always funny. It never will stop being.
Funny.
That show is way beyond its time, way before its time.
Yeah.
It really was.
And it wasn't on that long. How many seasons? Maybe 2 or 3 seasons?
I think it was on 4. And then they had a spinoff too.
Right.
That was whack. But Night Court was a good one.
Yeah.
Remember well, the world don't move to the beat of just one drum.
Jefferson's?
No, Different Strokes.
Different Strokes, yeah, Different Strokes.
And it was the one with Emmanuel Lewis, the ma'am Webster. I couldn't think of that the other day. Webster. Yeah, that dude was tiny. I think he's still alive too.
Yeah,
I think he's still alive. Yeah. Unfortunately, Gary Coleman is not, and I think everybody except for Todd Bridges is dead, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's good. I think Mrs. Garrett, she died. Didn't she die too?
Yeah,
because she was on there and then spin off Facts of Life.
Facts of Life. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, she's gone.
Yeah. Welcome back, Carter. Yeah, man, you went way back. The White Shadow. Facts of Life. Yep, that was dope. Remember Small Wonder?
Yeah. That only had one season, I think. Right?
Yeah, it wasn't on that long. Yeah, I remember the theme song too, though. Yeah. Small Wonder was good. Of course, Family Matters. Danny Redwine. And Perfect Strangers. Remember that one?
Perfect Strangers. Yeah. Which was a spinoff. Family Matters was a spinoff
of that. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah. The show wasn't even supposed to be about Urkel. It was supposed to be about the mom.
Right.
The whole show was written around her character until even Urkel's character got popular.
Mork and Mindy. Yeah, I remember that. Hawaii Five-0. Hilarious.
Have you seen the new ones? The new ones aren't that bad.
Punky Brewster.
I said that earlier, but nobody was listening to me.
Oh, I didn't hear you. Yeah, Punky Brewster. Look, I watched that. Blossom. Yeah.
Blossom.
And Silver Spoons. And then remember all the WB, CW shows. There was. Let's see if you can name the WB. No, wait. What was it? You
Dawson.
Wait, no. I'm talking about the little black movie, the black ones. It was UPN, and what was the other one?
Oh, UPN.
Before they merged, it was UPN, and it wasn't WB. It was what was it called?
It was Channel 9. It was Channel 9, right?
WB, not WB. It was UPN, and then the other one was something else, and then they merged into
It was WB. It was WB and UPN.
Was it? I couldn't. Yeah. It was two different ones.
No, it was UPN and WB.
Whatever you think about.
Captain King. Okay, so
NBC.
Homeboys in Outer Space. Remember that one? Homeboys in Outer Space.
Briefly.
Had Girlfriends.
Oh, Girlfriends. Yeah, Girlfriends.
They had the Steve Harvey Show.
Yes,
Steve Harvey Show, the sitcom. They had
that was
Jamie Foxx Show
and Jamie Foxx Show, because they were on separate networks.
And then they had we're happy and we're color. Give me a heart.
Oh, Wayne Brothers.
Wayne. Yeah. Wayne. They had Moesha. And the part
absolutely. Moesha was on Channel 9, UPN.
Right. So we're trying to figure out all of those shows. Moesha and the Parkers.
The Parkers, same network.
What's the one for basketball?
Mr. Cooper.
No, not Girlfriends. What was the one where they were basketball players?
Oh, the Game.
The Game. There you go. The Game, and then Girlfriends too.
Oh, Girlfriends. Yeah, same UPN 9, which they moved over to, or at least they have syndication on BET at one point.
Yeah. Am I leaving anything out? I think I got them all.
Yeah, so that era I didn't really watch TV much.
Yeah, but I remember I did watch Jamie Foxx. I did like that show.
Yeah, no, because that was before.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper, that was a great show. But and did y'all watch Full House growing up?
Yeah,
I did. Full House, TGIF.
Everybody did.
Remember the TGIF movement?
Wonder Years.
Wonder Years was dope. Remember they had this
show Sandy Martin cartoons because some of those shows were quite iconic.
Remember those shows? The show they had called My Two Dads.
Yeah, remember that.
Yeah, they had some really weird stuff. Now here's the crazy show. This was not a sitcom. This was a drama. They had a show called Cop Rock. Do y'all remember this one?
Cop Rock.
This show, you'll swear I'm making this shit up. It was Stephen Bochco, who was like the genius behind L.A. Law,
Hill Street
Blues, you know, all those
21 Jump Street.
21 Jump Street,
one.
NYPD Blue.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes when you're on a hot streak, people just kind of let you do whatever, right? And it was a musical cop show. And it was so bizarre. Like, y'all never seen this one? It like lasted like 13 episodes and it got canceled. And like literally, it would be like a regular cop show where they're just like, you know, hey, you know, we're investigating this case, boot to boot to boot. And then all of a sudden they just break out in the song and start dancing. It was the weirdest. I'm like, I gotta find a clip. So y'all know I'm not BSing with this one. This one, it's so bizarre, this show, Cop Rock. Oh man. You saw it, right, Jen?
Yeah, it was like the TV show Fame, but for cops.
Yeah, it was so bizarre, man.
It was pretty weird.
Yeah.
It also wasn't super well written either, so.
Wait, you said it was well written?
It wasn't well written.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, well, you know, it's funny because now people try to go back and look at it and they be like,
you know, 911.
oh, you know, it was, you know what? I think it was 911, Out of This World. Yeah, there was some good ones, man. There was some good shows back in the day.
Musicals don't tend to fare very well on TV.
No.
How many musicals did they do on freaking Buffy? They did like 2 shows where they compared to musicals, and then.
Hey guys, it's midnight.
I was just about to say, I want to thank everybody.
He's cutting it off now. It's over.
Thank everybody.
All right, listen.
I love you guys. No. I love you guys. This was amazing.
I'm go to bed.
I am going to bed. I'm hungry. I did have something to eat earlier. But I want to thank everybody for coming out, supporting, and all that good stuff. You know, everybody that's in the chat room, everybody that has been around since the beginning, Buffy, Angel, and Cordelia. You know, we'll be back with Mars Venus, not tomorrow. February. Yeah, that sounds good.
That's the first Monday in February.
Right. With all new episodes.
Black History Month.
Yes. And we're gonna really do it up. We're also gonna be, you know, coming back doing our other programs. You know, we're gonna be talking about a lot of different things. And
Jen's gonna just do The Witcher by herself because that's a thing.
Yeah, no, actually I had an idea for The Witcher. I had an idea. Okay, real quick. Witcher is a Netflix show, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's kind of harder to review Netflix shows because you watch at your own speed, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this idea. Maybe one day we'll do this where we'll watch one, then review it, watch one, review it like that, or maybe watch 3 and then review them or something to that effect, because it's just too strange to do it any other way. I don't know. I have to figure it out.
The show the way they filmed it and did it was strange as well. So, or a little quite confusing the way they time jumped and you know where the hell people were and shit. So,
yeah, it definitely takes some narrative expose.
We'll figure it out. We'll do it. We'll do it like this week. If anybody's watched The Witcher and they want to talk about it with us, let us know and jump on with us. You know, I mean, who knows? I might play it before
I attempted to play it again. Then I realized I didn't like the playability.
No.
So I watched other people play it on
Wild
Twitch.
Hunt is amazing. I love Wild Hunt.
You know, it is. I have the game. I started playing it over again, maybe because I don't know the controls as well, but I still like the playability of other games like Assassin's Creed. Odyssey has much better playability.
Yeah.
But it's an old game. Let's keep it at that. It is an old game, so you know.
It also the The Witcher the Netflix show is not based on the games, so we know that there's not going to be a bunch of side quests.
No, it's like
It's based on the books.
It's based on the books, and then you got it like even when I went back and did some research on YouTube, some YouTubers that I know who will like review that kind of stuff, and they start bringing, they'll tie in, hey, this is what they for the books, and this is what this, and they're trying to explain it, and then the stuff you understood better when you went into it versus the way they kind of cut it.
Right. Yeah, I got lots to say about how progressive it is. I have a ton to say about The Witcher, and it's not just all Henry either. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on there. There's more than the bath scenes, I promise.
The bath scenes? Oh, I can't wait.
Oh yeah, actually, that's what a lot of people came here for the bath scenes.
Yep. But don't worry, we'll talk about those too.
It reminds me of what's that show, Oz? Back in the day. That show, you had to let it record. You had to let that show record first so you can fast forward. It was like, oh, they're going there. Fast forward. You'd be like, just trying to see if it's done. Are they done? Okay, cool. And the show was good that you would sit through that. To get to the high drama that was on that show, but that was hard to watch. That show was very hard to watch. So, but it is what it is. All right, people, I love you guys. Hugs, kisses, all that stuff.
Everybody, buenas noches.
Lauren,
happy birthday to everyone tomorrow.
Huh?
What?
Happy today.
Today?
Yes, it is now midnight, so you're right.
Yeah. And hug Teddy P.
Good night.
Looks like he needs some people.
What's up, Kinte? What you saying?
Huh?
I don't know. You said my name, and then I don't know what you was just saying.
Oh, I said we're gonna talk soon. So okay. Not tonight though.
Thank you all. 4 hours.
Is there another show? Hell no.
Yes, in reruns. No. We'll go back and listen in reruns.
It's called The Dream.